All right. Happy Sunday, y'all. We have Boruto episode 199. And really, I'm just going to talk about two major events, the two big pieces of what happened in today's episode. And we have the Delta versus Naruto battle, as well as the introduction of Buff Jesus, aka Boro and his cult. But let's, just do it sequentially. And I'm going to be talking about Delta versus Naruto as a whole, as a battle, more so than just what happened in this anime or in this specific episode. Overall, this fight to me, I felt was more impactful in the manga. I just felt as if the anime didn't do as good of a job fooling us, making us believe that Naruto was ever in a position to be down bad, I felt while we were reading it in the manga, we kind of had the same mindset as Boruto, like, dog, what the fuck is going down? This nigga getting mollywopped. What is going on? And a lot of the moments where Naruto would appear to be weak would have happened in last week's episode, but I just felt like it wasn't necessarily executed properly. And I know budgeting and all that, we can't spend all the money on these fights. There's going to be different fights that are going to look way better than this. But at the end of the day, and I also get the whole tactical reasoning why Naruto really can't go all out, and we couldn't necessarily get the biggest fight because of, one, their location. He has to protect his family at the same time, and he's not trying to make it too hot boys. I get all that, but I'm just saying there was a certain type of experience that I've had reading the manga than watching this in the animated form. I literally thought, like, okay, even when it was explained by Kawaki, like, yo, he's been leading the battle this whole time. But with that being said, on the flip side, maybe the anime's goal was to highlight that more, like, just to show how much in control Naruto was during this fight throughout the whole thing. Because even in the last episode, it just seemed like he was throwing lazy punches. He was pretty much eating shots. In this episode, he does get more serious, all due to Himawari getting tossed like 30,000 feet in the air and shit. And, I get it. But it just, hold on. And I get, like, Naruto wasn't in base form, so he did have to, pump up KCM. He had to get into that bag when it came to Delta. But at the same time, it just felt like he didn't even have to break a sweat in this fight. And maybe that was the whole point. But as far as entertainment purposes goes, I would like to see a little bit more, even if it was fake. Like, let us believe, like, oh shit, nigga. Or at least let people who didn't read the manga believe, like, yo, this bitch is whooping this nigga ass. I don't think anybody was fooled, especially if you've seen this episode. Like, he was just eating punches, and every time he threw a punch, she would fly like 50 fucking feet. But with that being said, I also believe the way the anime delivered this episode and how it's been rolling out, it's starting to alter my perception of the strength of Kara and their scaling. When reading the manga, I was kind of just more so impressed by the fact, okay, their technology is crazy. We're starting to see these different type of characters, such as Delta, come in and have rockets on their fucking boots, and, like, holy shit, what's gonna happen when Naruto meets this type of, like, what's gonna happen during this battle? Turns out it wasn't really much, and Naruto essentially defeats Delta the same way Katasuke won his battle when he overpowered, or not overpowered, but overheated the drones that were attacking him in Team 7. So when I say it alters my perception of, the strength of Kara itself, it's kind of like we are seeing there are some weaknesses to their technology. It's not Jurassic, like, it is more improved than what is going on in the Leaf Village, but there are its flaws as well. Maybe Amato, take some fucking points and we get like an anime exclusive arc where he's like starting to tweak shit, like, okay, I gotta fucking fix this shit. Like, these motherfuckers getting washed and shit. We gotta, we ain't strong enough to invade the Leaf Village yet. Our technology is there, but essentially we gotta get stronger. And after watching this fight, it made me wonder, is Delta fucking trash? Like, is she trash? Like, I know she's like a fan favorite and whatnot, and a lot of that came, well, she looked good, of course, but I felt like a lot of that respect came from this fight. Like, a lot of that, like, oh, she stood her ground, respectfully speaking, with Naruto, even though he was holding back, but, she still stood her ground. I just feel like I'm more curious to see how would she go with like another member of the Leaf? Like, how would she look like versus Kakashi? How would she look like versus some of these other characters? Because she just went up against the GOAT, and she got washed, bruh. So I don't know if her fighting Naruto skews her abilities. It's like skews our perception of her strength. I'm interested in seeing what happens in the future, and does she get another fucking fight? Like, what the fuck goes down? I know I read the manga, but I'm just trying to see what the fuck pops off with this bitch. Because honestly, low key, I'm starting to look at Delta a little bit different. I'm starting to look at her like she ain't really all that, right? Now, as we move on to Buff Jesus, Boro. It took me a minute. I watched this episode about 2 or 3 times. And at first I was like, yo, okay, this is an interesting little power he has, but I learned his little trick. I figured out his trick. Now, I gotta give it up to the fucking anime, because these niggas be hitting you with that little subtle information they ain't telling you shit. They leaving anime exclusive or anime only. Y'all probably lost in the sauce right now. I wish I was anime only, because I'd be like, dog, this nigga the shit right here. But I learned his little tricks. Now, what I would say, I love the fact that we're starting to get into like a more anime exclusive territory, because I've noticed whenever we get a little bit boosted information on a certain character, they usually hype them up and we get a good ass battle. We got that with Al. We got that with characters such as Victor, Deepa, and now we're gonna get that shit with Boro. Because in the manga, Boro, he was just there. He wasn't all that, but like, starting from his design in the anime, I will say Boro's design in the anime, I don't know, I want to say it kind of surpasses the look in the manga, and that's very rare for that to happen. Ever since I seen him in the anime, I was like, dog, this nigga look wet. He has a fucking cult. We didn't really find out he had a cult until about 2 months ago, as far as the manga goes. But just that little bit of information starting to have me even more curious, and I'm looking forward to, I hope we get like a little exclusive, like something similar to the Actuation arc. We get a little Boro Code arc or something like that. But it seems like we're getting Boro at like this peak. I still want to know who he was before he started this whole cult, because I can see I can see his reasoning for being within the Kara. And he truly does believe it, as if he is saving these people's lives, their souls, whatever you want to say. It's like he's like some type of minister. And he wants them to reach the infinite tsukuyomi. He wants them to reach internal happiness, peace, whatever the fuck. And through Kara, he's going to have his dream come true that way, I'm assuming. Sorry, y'all fucking crackheads asking me to buy, asking if I got cigarettes to sell them. I don't smoke cigarettes, bro. Anyway. See, like, I'm all fuzzled up and shit now. Hold on, Pimpin'. Another thing that I like about this whole little interaction we got with Boro is like, we're tapping into his psychology. So he even says the code, like, bro, I'm doing charity work. I know y'all niggas is looking for me, but I'm out here trying to save the fucking youth, dog. I'm out here chilling and shit. Code, kind of jabs at him like, oh, you're having fun scamming these people or, tricking them. And he says, I have no intentions on doing those type of things. He gets offended, grabs this motherfucker. And in a roundabout way, I know Boro believes he is saving these people. But there is some truth to what Code is saying. There is some definite truth to what this nigga is saying. And that's what I mean. Like, the manga, the anime is kind of subtly showing you little things. It went over my head, bro, until I rewatched this shit. And I was like, oh, okay, I know what he's doing here. But, it's dope, though. We're starting to see a tactic that Kara uses, because if you remember, we've also seen Delta enter a poverty-stricken village, and that's where she may have been hunting for someone similar like a Kawaki, a kid to, study and shit like that. We've had doctors in those type of neighborhoods. So we've seen all types of forms for the Kara to intrude these villages, whether it be some type of religious or spiritual way, or, hey, let's get the scientific team, let's get some doctors and send them over there, let's try to find somebody we could use. Now, as far as Boro's involvement, I don't think this is necessarily a Kara looking for more people. I do believe this is like Boro running his little side thing, and he has like these people, these like a fellowship of people he believes he's going to save. Like, I think in his mind, he thinks he's some type of savior for real. I don't think that's fake. I just think his methods are a little bit exaggerated. So, like I said, I don't necessarily think he's scouting for people that are going to come back to the car and be tested on. I think this is something on his own that Jigen allows him to do. And Jigen may see him as like a character who's, you know, there's certain trait within Boro that Jigen finds attractive and thought it would be helpful to have him in the car organization when it comes to the big plan, the fucking tsukuyomi and all that shit. Tsukuyomi? Am I spoiling shit? I don't know. I don't think I'm spoiling shit. Do what? I don't know, bruh. Hey, I'm gonna end this shit. I'm gonna end this shit here just in case, dog. I'm not doing another take, dog. Tsukuyomi. Why would they even say that in this? Hey, bro, I don't know shit.